The second update for Planet Coaster 2 is here, and I cannot wait to show you everything it has to offer. I'm Coaster Monkey, we're here in Shenaniganalandia, and we got our hands deep in the sauce, if you will, of the second update. Now, I'm going to walk you through kind of what we did today, or I should say yesterday, when we got our hands first on it. What I want to do is I emptied the park completely, because I wanted to see what happens with our guest flow, and a really interesting thing came to fruition. Our guests are doing what they used to do in Planet Coaster 1, which is walking through, around every path. No matter where it is, whether there's a ride there, whether there's food there, they are walking that way. So basically, all of our paths that we created, our exterior infrastructure that we had, now have peeps, Plankonians, guests walking on it. So what we had to do is we had to throw in, excuse me, some of these barriers to kind of block the way, right? We wanted to make sure we're keeping this infrastructure. So we'll have to keep this in mind as we're building out the infrastructure areas of the park, that what is the flooring that we're using, or the pathing that we're using. The next thing we did was turned off the notifications, and I continued to get notifications. What I learned is that you had to individually, every time you got a notification up for a specific category, you have to individually turn it off in order for the notification to not present itself any longer. Shocker. A little bit more in detail, but now we have no more notifications. So that's fantastic. The next glitch that I noticed is that I went to go look at the changing rooms, because the whole thing was, oh my god, changing rooms, they're gonna be faster, and they're so much faster. But now there's an actual glitch in the pathing that creates these huge clusters of peeps that they don't move, they can't move, they're stuck. So that's a thing, and I don't know if it's the UI kind of trying to figure out what that looks like, but that's a whole thing. Next up, we got really excited, and we were like, okay, well, we're going to use the new TV screens, right? So we went in, and this is our dabble. Remember, we do a dabble, and then we do a deep dive. So this is our dabble. We are dabbling with Kanaloa, and we got some screenshots from where our on-ride camera would be, and this is the area within our souvenir shop that we wanted the on-ride photo section to be, right? And that's what we're going to use the screens for. Here I am, I'm making a printer. Now, I cannot take credit for this. This is 100% Nerd Chacho. He's a genius. I love the way he builds. I love the way his brain works when it comes to putting together pieces in Planet Coaster. And that's what we did here. So we just created a little printer, which is super fun. And we stole some pieces from some stuff. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the 1 meter TV screens in. This train has 8 cars, so we put in 8 TV screens. And what I think is great is it's really simple. And I'm going to show you, there's once you get your screenshots in, you're going to have to do a little bit of editing. You can do it in Paint if you don't have Adobe Photoshop. I have Adobe Photoshop, so I was able to edit it. And once you've edited your photos, you then put them into that file location, and that's it. Once they're in that file location, if you are still in the game, you do not have to close out the game and reopen it. There's a little refresh button on the window for the TV screens. And then what you can do is you could just go in and just go boop, boop, refresh, and they'll show up in the drop-down menu. Now, you have to, it's very not super intuitive, but you kind of get it. It's like you have to hit the TV screen, then you have to hit change image, and then it takes you to another window where you can then pull this stuff out. So this is our dabble. Super easy, super quick. We on stream yesterday, New Jersey Coasters did remind me I needed to add a screen to view down at the counter, which is 100% a thing in real life. So we did that. And then we were like, okay, well, now that we dabbled, let's deep dive. And we went over to our newest coaster, Sleipnir. Now, you've not seen this yet, unless you've been watching our lives. You've not seen this yet, but this coaster will be in the episode 18. So this is episode 17.5. The next episode is going to be 17.75. It's going to be the part 2 of this episode. So this is part 1 of update 2. We're going to do a part 2 where we're going to build a synchronized coaster. And then this whole build out with Sleipnir. Can somebody tell me how to say that? But this whole episode is going to be in episode 18 of Shenaniganalandia. So here we are. We're putting in our on-ride photo like we did in the past. If you've not checked this out, I did a whole video on how to build an on-ride photo section with the time-lapsing. There's a lot of things sorted out. If you want to check out the live from yesterday, February 13th, you can go check that out, and that kind of has like a full breakdown on how to do it. But what we wanted to do was, that was the cover photo for the live. It was my face all over the screens. It's so funny. But here we are. As I'm building out, I'm building out an on-ride photo, and as you can see, there was some stuff there. Maybe I can link out. I'll link out this particular build. I love this. This is a kitchen build that one of the creators did in the community. I will link it down below for you guys to find it. It's a fantastic build, and I kind of took it apart and used it as our back counter. And the whole idea is that I wanted to create a very simple shelving unit utilizing this structure that this creator made. So genius, such a genius build from this creator. And what we did is we kind of piecemealed it and fit it into our structure that we have here. Now, the rest of this build is going to be all about building out a full on-ride photo section and interior and kind of a breakdown. So you've got your front facade, right? You've got your front counter. You're going to need a back counter, and on that back counter, you're going to have printers. You're going to have some souvenirs, and then obviously along your back wall, you're going to have all of your television screens or monitors with the things from the ride, the pictures from the ride. But yeah, so here we are. We're stealing our printer, and we're going to put it over in this area, and I think it's really great that we can do this now. I'm totally vibing with custom images and videos. Oh, that's another set. That's an entire behind the scenes set. That is, woo, fantastic. Love that. So anyway, here we are. We're creating these little printers. I wanted to make them look a little bit different than the other printers. I don't know why I put those on there. It's what I felt like was right. Just run with it, people. Run with it. All right, so now that we've got our photos sorted, right, for Sleipnir, we wanted to go in and continue to build out the interior of this space. This is a 10-car train. We were going to go with an 8-car train, but I really needed the capacity, so we went with a 10-car train. And again, we just shot each car. We edited the photo, and then we loaded it in utilizing that link that you'll see on the screen right here. So now that this is built out, we wanted to say, okay, what is this interior and exterior going to look like, right? And again, super simple, super easy. We just matched the energy and the vibe of the other buildings we have around us. You haven't seen them yet. You'll see them in episode 18. It's coming soon. That was also the interior set from Plastic Swans, her gift shop clutter set. Or their gift shop clutter set. I keep saying her, but it may be a their. I don't know. But their gift shop clutter set. There's another build. I'm going to link all these down below. All of these pieces are amazing. These are office chairs that was built by another creator. So we'll put that link down in the comments or in the description below. This way you guys can, jump in and download them for yourself for your parks. Because these are some amazing creators. They did some great stuff. So at this point, I laid out all of the Viking stuff because I still don't know the direction I want to bring this area. I want it to feel more real and less Plinko, but I don't want to not have it feel like it's, as Nerd Chacho would say, baked into the universe. I love that statement. I love the way he put it, and it couldn't be more realistic to where my vision is for this park. I want it to be baked in, but I still want it to have those touches of realism. Again, here we are putting in a popcorn ceiling or some type of a drop ceiling. That was the idea. And then we grabbed some of our trim work to create a really nice trim along the top. And again, it's a very simple interior. Did not go too crazy with it, but just built it out to make it, pop, 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 right? So one of my bigger challenges here was trying to figure out how I wanted to build out the exterior and tying it into that Plinko universe, right? And the idea really just came down to pulling in whatever ornate pieces I could find within the Viking set, but did not feel too Plinko, if that makes sense. I think we pulled it off. I don't think it looks too cartoony, if you will. But I think it plays the part really well, and I love the build. I love the fact that we have the ability to create on-ride photos again. I definitely missed that for sure. and all of our coasters will have on-ride photos moving forward. And then what I'm gonna think about doing is like, what do the interiors look like? We need, or the interiors of our parks look like, right? We're gonna need ride times. We're gonna need directional boards. We're gonna need advertisements. So I want to start thinking about some of these things and what that would look like around the park, because every single park is sponsored by their partner, you know, their business partners, right? So what does that look like, and how do we facilitate that in an elevated manner that doesn't feel too Plankonian, if you will, right? Simple, basic interior lighting, some fun trim work on the exterior, and that's really the whole build. I mean, I was super excited about with how it came out. I love the way we pulled this trim work out. We used this trim work in the cantilever building over the maintenance building, which you'll see in episode 18, coming in 2 episodes. The next episode, we're going to do dueling coasters, okay? A dueling kiddie coaster reminiscent of Kid Flash, okay? And if you're not familiar with Kid Flash Coaster Fiesta Texas, look it up. We're going to do something similar to that, but obviously in more like a kiddie style. We're going to use that kiddie coaster with the dragon coaster. And then after that will be the full build out of this area with Sleipnir. I hope I'm saying it right and I'm not butchering it. I'm so sorry if I am. But yeah, as we're getting towards the end of the build, one of my big favorite parts about this build really just came down to tying it together within the area, being able to have those on-ride photos, and how easy it was to do screenshots and import them into the game. And I think the ease of that is really what elevates this skill set at this point, or elevates the ability to do this. I think it makes it so much more fun to create within this game. As we're wrapping it up, just doing a simple photos sign along the top. I wanted to make sure that we're still keeping within our vibe of the rest of the park. We got these very basic signs. Again, because we're a mid-tier park. We're not Universal. We're not Disney. We're not trying to be. We're mid-tier, and we're okay with being mid-tier. We only got so much bank in a bank, if you catch my drift. But yeah, so here we are. We're wrapping it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. It was super fun. Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to dive back in. We're going to look at dual coaster synchronization. We're going to look at coaster friction, and yeah, in that giant space that you're looking at right there, that's where it's going to go. But until the next one, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, keep on building. Ciao.